tune in to the latest edition of State of the Week, brought to you by State Your Claim. But Royal, please tell them what they need to do.
So I need you guys to do 3 things. I need you guys to like, I need you guys to comment, and
Yep.
most importantly, I need you guys to subscribe. And make sure you follow us on all the socials. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's TikTok, Threads. Make sure you follow us, man. Tap in with us, man. Keep up with us, man. That's all we ask. And that's that too much to ask? No, I don't think so. So you can do that.
I mean, listen, we doing our stuff. We being consistent with this shit. So just
Fact,
tap in.
fact. Shea Gillis Alexander consistent.
Oh, my whole life is consistent, is what he said. Ah, ah. All right. Okay. So look, we got some really interesting topics. Let's get right to it. Palace, Air Max 95. Our friends across the pond, we'll call them the 110s. So shout out to them, lands of the trainers. But, this is a very, very big release that I feel like has been kind of brewing over the last couple of weeks. I feel like it started, it was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. To
Mhm.
then it just really ignited. And to take a step back, everyone should know about Palace. Go look them up. Streetwear, skate brand. But what's interesting is they used to partner with Adidas.
Right.
So now they're with Nike, right? So they got this Air Max 95 that's dropping, dropped in a couple of different regions, gonna hit Sneakers app on April 16th. Real quick story. So was going into an event the other day, walking on Mercer. I'm seeing hundreds of kids outside,
Right.
police officers. I'm like, okay, Stadium Goods is closed. It's Thursday, so Palace doesn't drop until Friday. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, did some kid get hemmed up? Like, what happened? They were giving out wristbands, and they got ugly. Like, I saw that in real time. So, we'll get into the shoe real quick, but just thoughts of when you see that. Does that like remind you of like kind of the old days of being out? I don't know. Talk to me.
Well, you talking about the whole incident with the wristbands and them shutting down the release?
Just yeah, like just the whole commotion. I feel like we haven't really seen something like that in a little bit of time, but
I mean, for the most part, I'm not outside anymore, but as we used to say and they still say, kids in New York are gonna burn the loop. They're gonna burn it. That's just what they do. They're gonna burn the loop. They don't know how to act. And it's like every all the crazy releases get burnt. That's why they knew better than to release the Alaskas. No, they knew better because they knew that was gonna get burnt. Um I'm not surprised. And as you know, as most of you should know by now, that they shut it down. They
hmm
shut it down, and they said they're dropping online. So New York is burnt for the Palace thing. But overall, I like the apparel, and it's very roadman. You
hmm
know, the windbreakers, well, tracksuits, whatever you want to call it.
right,
The 110s, 95s. So for us,
right.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I mean,
How about you? How about
listen,
your thoughts?
those are my colors, right?
Hmm.
Black, silver. I like
Mhm.
that gradient approach. I like the fact that this, I don't want to say reintroduction of the 95, but it's definitely a shoe that Nike is pushing to the forefront, right? Last year was the 30th anniversary, and they're not letting up. I like the fact that this looks different than the other 95s that they've been releasing, right? So I feel like that is a plus, number one. I think the campaign is dope from the simple fact that it really ties into that Roman mentality. They got two, UK rappers. Let me get their names real quick. John Nino and Baby Doom. Now, listen, I don't know their music, but shout out to them. They were in the Nike campaign. I think it's very personal to London, to the UK, to people who call them the 110s. And by the way, they were 110 pounds when they released back in 1995. That's why they call them the 110s. You all should know that. If you don't, you're welcome. But I feel like, yeah, it leans into that. And I love campaigns where it can teach people about how a sneaker is perceived elsewhere outside of the States. A lot of times things can be very, US centric, right?
Always, always,
we,
yeah.
we, we think we created everything. We kind of live in a bubble, and perhaps we have set a lot of trends, right? I'm not going to say that we haven't, but there's always two sides to a story. There's always a different representation of that same thing going
Right.
on in a different region. So I feel like they hit the nail on the head with that. The shoe is dope. The only thing I would say, I'm not a big fan of them having Palace written on the big bubble. I could do away with that. I could do away with that.
I had no complaints about the shoe. I do have one question before, so we don't stay on this subject too long. Just one quick
Huh?
question.
Yeah.
Where do you think Palace sits today in the hierarchy of streetwear?
Hmm. I think that I think they're close to the top. I think they're close to the top.
Second, third, fourth, what?
I
I
put
mean,
them
I'm
in the
pretty
tier.
sure
I
it
I
was Supreme to be first,
I
right?
put them. I put them in the tier one. I put them in that tier one. I put them in that tier one. Maybe 3, 4. Uh,
Who would be in front of them, Supreme and Stussy?
I would say Supreme, Stussy, Cortez. Um,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I listen. I think Cortez is right is below Supreme and Stussy. I put them. You wouldn't put Cortez in tier one in terms of what they've been.
Palace?
What they? No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that I'm putting them in the tier one, and these are the brands that I'm selecting
Alright, so no particular order.
in no particular order.
Alright, cool. I thought you were saying they were over Palace. I was like, "Huh?"
No. I don't think. I mean, listen, Clint. Everything he's doing, what he
Yeah.
touches, is on fire, right? But no, I'm not saying that. But I put Palace in the tier one. I put them in that tier one streetwear zone.
Alright, cool. Respect,
No,
respect.
yeah. I mean, listen, if you wanna rank them real quick, please
Nah,
go ahead.
no, I don't wanna draw this topic out too long.
Oh,
I just
okay. Yeah. All right. So last but not least, are you gonna try and get a pair? You gonna get a
no,
pair?
no.
No. Okay. All right. Moving on. All right. Funny enough, moving on, we're gonna talk about OnCloud. We're gonna talk about Zendaya for OnCloud. And folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is not just your normal collaboration, right? Um, this is something that's well thought out. So OnCloud, if you don't know, been around since 2010. Footwear brand started by former athletes, kind of in that athleisure world, but also in running. They do tennis. They work with Roger Federer. But this is probably, I would say, 9 times out of 10, their biggest moment with Zendaya. Obviously, we know Zendaya, actress, singer, been around, global. People look at her for her looks on the red carpet. So people think fashion. Um, what do you think about her partnering with On? Does this kind of change kind of the mentality on how maybe you perceive them or how they will be perceived in the marketplace? Give me your thoughts on that.
Um, I don't think it really changes it at all for me how I perceive them because
Mhm.
to me personally, most collabs nowadays or joining of forces, however you wanna word it, don't surprise me anymore. They just don't. Next week is gonna be something crazy. I think it's a famous Kanye line like, "I love Lady Gaga. I love Kodak, but what the fuck do they have, to do with each other?" So it's like anything's possible, but
Mhm.
I think, and shout out to him, I think Law Roach has done a great job of positioning her to be more
Yes.
than just an actress. He
Yes.
took her to the Met Gala. Takes her to fashion shows, and I think he's just doing a great job of turning her into a bit of an icon. I don't know if she's icon status yet, but she'll be there, or she's getting there, and I think he's doing a great job of that. And the fact that he's so heavily into fashion and that they have this relationship, they have a
Right.
great relationship,
Amazing.
and it shines through in everything that they do. That's my
Listen,
personal.
I agree. And, by the way, he's a part of the campaign. Um, there's that 3-minute video. Spike Jones produced it. Obviously, you should know who Spike Jones is.
Spike Jones.
You know what I'm saying? Just visionary. Um, but I thought that that 3-minute video was very well done because it shows kind of this exaggerated, process, creative process of them kind of curating the designs. So you do see Law, obviously you see Zendaya. It's kind of hard to explain people, but I would just say take some time, go on one of those platforms and go check it out for yourself. I thought that was very creative. Real quick, it's 30 pieces, it's windbreakers, it's jackets, it's parachute pants, midi skirts, tanks, shirts. Of course, you got sneakers in there. Um, and to me, it's like very lifestyle. I feel like it kind of moves away from that athleisure. So I know for you personally, you may say that it doesn't make your perception change of On, but I
Uh-huh.
do think that this kind of carries them into more of that kind of fashionable phase, because to me, there's a couple, when I think of On,
Mhm.
I think of like a certain person, so to speak, who wears it, and I feel like this kind of moves it into a different direction, for different people to tap in. So
I'm
yes,
not
there's
that I'm
there's
not mad at
collaborations to come out every week, but I'm definitely not mad at this one at all.
not at all, not at all. Shout out to
Yeah,
them. Great job, great
yeah,
execution.
great execution, and I hope that she never leaves Law. That
Yeah,
should
now
never get broken apart.
yeah, yeah, please stay together,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, say it together, say it together. It works, It works. So shout out to them. Okay, moving on. Let's talk some CEO talk or lack thereof. Fear of God, Jerry Lorenzo, the general, the head of the brand. Okay, Fear of God been around since 2013. They never had a CEO until 2 years ago. Please work with me, y'all. If I mispronounce this guy's name, that's
Yeah,
on me. You
I
you
don't know how to say it either.
you can blame me, but I'm gonna try my hardest. Bastien Dagazan, and I know I'm not pronouncing it right, so please correct me. Somebody hit me up and tell me, Gatsby, you didn't do a good enough job. Correct me, please. But in any
Sounds
case,
sounds good to me.
it sounds good enough for Royal. That's that's what we go with for now. All right, so he stepped down. He stepped down as his role as CEO, which he held for the last 2 years. Now, previously, before being CEO of Fear of God, we should mention that he was the CEO of Jacques Mousse, right?
Right.
So,
That's I recall.
right, did well with them. So the whole goal for him was to come to Fear of God and really help them with their e-commerce and their direct to consumer sales, which he did do. But kind of interesting, right? That not only did he step down, but in a statement from the brand, they said, "We are committed to an internal vision guided by alignment, attention, and consideration." And they also said that the CEO role will be eliminated indefinitely.
Yeah, they're gonna let Jerry just basically take over. I mean, I read what the sales that they said he did. He doubled the online sales. Overall global sales, they said moderately increased,
Moderate. Yeah.
but I'm not surprised by that because, to be honest with you, who wears Fear of God? Everyone wears essentials, and I feel like, I'm being
It's
honest
more
with you, like,
visible.
yeah,
It's more
like,
visible.
you might see you might catch people here and there with the actual mainline clothes on, but for the most part, essential is doing the job, and I'm just like, why would you bring him in for that? That shit sells itself.
Right.
That
Right.
made
Well, I
that
mean,
made sense to me. I don't think he should have ever left Jacquemus, but is, whatever.
I mean, he prob what we always say on this show, get money.
Yep. I don't know if that was a money play. I don't know.
So you don't
Yeah,
think that
more fear God than he did there over there. Back
wait,
there,
you said, do I think that he did more at Fear God than what he did over at Jacques Moose?
I paid more fear God.
Oh, got paid more. I don't know. Listen, when you're doing something really well at a high level and someone else wants you, in order for you to leave, you typically want to get paid more money than than you're getting paid currently, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
Uh,
for the most part, yeah.
For the most part, yeah. So
Yeah,
I think it's safe to assume that, potentially he may he may have gotten a bigger bag, but also maybe he wanted a different type of challenge.
right. That's
You
what I
know?
think a lot of people do once they get to a certain level. They just want different challenges.
Yeah. They want a different challenge. And it's funny you mentioned that it's like who wears fear of God. Do you think that these days that the mainline fear of God is easily identifiable out there in the wild like it used to be?
It is, but you just don't see it. It is, but you like I said, it
Mhm.
is. Just
Mhm.
won't see it.
Listen, essentials is generational wealth. So
Yep. Yep.
that money gets put back in to fear
Mhm.
God. They
Mhm.
are a private company, so we don't have all the information on the sales to give to you all right now. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with them moving forward. I don't think there's really anything wrong with the brand, so to speak. It does sound like Bastine did do his job. Um, but hey, he's probably got something else up his sleeve. And shout out to
Yeah,
Jerry.
we'll see. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else you want to talk about on that? All right. Okay. Cool. 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 All right, man. Let's get to this.
Hmm,
You ready?
I'm ready.
Tabby Mania. Okay. Now, there was a post recently. I don't know, we should say the account, but it started a lot of discussion about tabbies
Mhm.
and this whole idea on the fact that they're everywhere and one brand really ushered it out and then everyone is stealing from this one brand and now this is becoming mainstream. Okay, so I don't even think a lot of people notice, but the tabby has been around since the 15th century. 15th century. And it was made to actually help you with your posture and to have better circulation with your feet, all that. So really from a health perspective. So let's just get that in our heads. All my fashion folks out there, aesthetically pleasing, but it actually does something for you. How you feeling about this? We got different brands that like for example, Vans, right? They got
Mhm.
their own version of a tabby. Um Steve Madden, they got tabbies, right? You think
And
obviously I think people think about Margiela. What's your thoughts on this? Someone own the tabby? Can you own the tabby?
yeah, I mean, no, I don't think you can own a tabby. I mean, especially and then Steve Madden, nothing's safe with them. You lucky they ain't bootleg your black ass.
Yo, 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 that would be he would try though. He would try.
They
He would
bootleg,
try.
but I
Steve,
mean,
just make
but
sure we both get money.
but right,
Mm.
facts. But it's crazy. Before I don't even think Margiela made the tabby yet. But I remember seeing this girl a long time ago in high school, and she had a pair of the Nike Air Rifts.
Mhm. Yep.
And I was like, "Damn." I was like, "She actually pulled those off? That's a very exotic shoe to pull off." At the time, it's like,
Mhm.
"Whoa." And the
Right.
Nike Air Rift was whoa. A lot of people didn't have that, but it's like, "Whoa." And it's like, forget about that Nike shoe. Fast forward, Tabbies come out with Margiela. That's their thing.
That's the
They're
thing.
not the first to do it, but they're good at it.
They're
Same thing
really good at it.
same thing with the Gats. They're not the first to do it, or the replicas, pardon me, but, Gat, but they're very good at it. Another thing, and people just for some reason think that that belongs to them, but that's not really their style. But did they bring it to the forefront? Absolutely.
They
Did they
did.
popularize it? Of course they did.
They
Am
did.
I mad at other brands doing it? No, but I feel like it's a style that if it can very quickly, if not done correctly, become distasteful very easily and very quickly.
100%. Just like anything. It's just like, loafers. You I I would say people started wearing regular loafers, and then you get the sneaker brands who start doing it. I think there's certain brands that did a better job of it than others. You had New Balance. I think, in my opinion, I think that they were the first ones to really kind of infuse that tech, that comfort along with it. Then Hoka does it. Then you see Nike. I think they waited way too long to do this shit, and them joints is, I think they look terrible. But it's just, it happens. These brands are gonna attach themselves to whatever they think they can make a dollar off of
Of course.
at the moment. But this whole like idea of gatekeeping tabbies is insane to me, because truly no one owns that. Yeah, did Margiela, I guess, kind of usher it, or perhaps make it popular within culture? Yeah, they did. They played a big role in it. But to me, I could care less. I care less. There's gonna be brands that do something at a high level, and there's gonna be brands that do something at a shit level, and you need to know the difference.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, outside of Margiela, with all these people who, who are recently making all these tabby, their version of the tabby or the tabby toe, what brand do you think has done the best job? Who would you say?
Mm. Um, I would say, we talked about the Air Rift. You talked about that. You
So
talked
you think
about that with Nike. I like I like that representation of it. I like that representation of it. I feel like it feels like Nike, um, from a very athletic point of view, but also not trying to lean too far into fashion per
mhm,
se. Yeah, so to me, I think that they kept it more so them, which is not always the case. Which is not always the case. For you, what are you thinking about? Who would you say?
I'm between the Air Rift and I did thoroughly enjoy. I might get a pair of the Kiko Asics. They're
You
tabbies.
the new joints.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at those.
Hmm, I'm not feeling those.
Not feeling those.
Um, I wanted to like them. I wanted to like them, but I do not like that ASIC script written on there. To me,
Right. Looks cheesy.
ugh, why? Why? You
I
know?
get I
You
get it.
you know? But I've been seeing people wear them. I've seen them in the wild. I see them in the wild. Um, colorways, they look good. I don't know. That to me, that's not Kiko's best work with ASICs.
No, definitely not. Nah,
You know,
hell no. I'm
give
not
me
saying oh,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
no, no, no. Right, 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 right. But shout out to Kiko, does an
really
amazing job.
yeah,
I love him for his gel kinetics that he's done, but in this case, I'm gonna go with Nike outside of Margiela.
yeah, and side note, those Vans are disgusting.
Oh, you don't want a pair of them? You don't want Vans, more Vans? We don't want those? I don't want them either. I don't want them either. Yeah. But Vans is like, yo, you used to think we were this, but we're actually that now. So they they
I get it.
trying everything. They out here.
We're about to see some $400 Vans for retail sooner or later.
Hey
The day
man,
is gonna come.
it was destined to happen. All right, so we're done with Tabby Mania. Um, let's move on to very important Japanese brand in Beams teaming up, and I believe Beams is celebrating their 50th year anniversary this year. So shout out to them. But they're teaming up with Timbaland for a buckle boot Gore-Tex. So if you look up on the screen, you'll see a couple things. This is not your typical Tim. It's not your typical Tim boot. Yeah, it's that weak colorway that you love, but there are no laces. There are no eyelets. So you couldn't even get clowned for tying them because you can't tie them. Instead, they're replaced with a buckle, Royal. So these shoes, they're going to retail, these boots are going to retail for $240. They're inspired by railroad engineers post World War II. I'm not making this up. This is in the write-up. You being a New York guy, Mr. New York, I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about this.
All right, so I could sum this up in one word. Nope.
That's
But
it?
but because I know Gatsby's gonna want me to say more, I'm
No,
gonna
you can
give
keep it at that.
no. I'm gonna give you some common synonyms for nope. Include informal negatives like nah, nuh-uh, nay, along with phrases such as no way, not at all, and one that I use very often, absolutely not.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that message. I really appreciate you. It's a triple no. It's a triple no. Absolutely not. I don't know where these are going to work.
Japan,
Right. Yeah.
that's about it.
Maybe on the ladies, a small foot, something like that. But you won't catch them on my feet. I don't even wear Timbs like that anymore. I'm gonna tell you. Grew up wearing them. Legendary boot. They're uncomfortable as shit. So now you telling me
They been fixed that, bro. They fixed that.
they still don't feel good. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let
I
them
mean, I
lie to you.
bought pairs, I buy a pair every year. They feel way better than they did back in the day, but,
Right.
the kids nowadays, the little Yachty boot. I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Oh no, let's not even go there. But let's not even go there. But yeah, they feel way better. That doesn't mean they're comfortable. But yeah, nah, I don't even want to spend too much time on this, but
Yeah,
it's an
definitely.
eyesore. It's an eyesore. So good, if you want them, have at
Good
them.
luck. Yeah, good luck.
Go get them. Go get them. Let's see. Let's see what you do with that. Let's see what you do with that. All right. So, yay. Just take a step back. Ye's out again, performing, doing shows at SoFi, 2 sold out shows. He recently went to a comedy club in LA a couple days ago. I believe it was Dion Coleman who was performing, introduced him and another comedian, asked him a question on stage. Do you think you could, or who could beat you in the verses? Is there anyone? He says what? What does he say?
I don't know, tell me. I actually didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it. Okay. Well, of course, Ye said no. Right. So then this online discussion is going on between him and Hove in the verses. You got Joe Budden, B. Dot saying no, it's Jay-Z. Jay-Z would crush him, or maybe not crush him, but beat him. You got academics in them saying, he's got these stadium level songs that Ye would win. I mean, do you even care about it? But like, who do you think will win in a battle? Would you want to see a battle? Because me personally, I'm done with verses. But what do you think about the whole thing?
Jay-Z can't hold a fucking candle to Ye when it comes to performing.
But
But what?
verses is not about that. Verses technically is supposed to be about song for song. So so
Kanye,
so that's
alright,
so
so, alright,
that's actually not what it's about.
he can't alright, so boom, I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Ye Hove can't fuck with Ye. He cannot fuck with him. Perform versus, you still have to perform. You have to perform. He can't outperform that man, and Ye has the songs. So while we love Jay-Z, we don't love Jay-Z's performances. We love Jay-Z's songs, but Jay-Z is a good performer. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Some people may love the Diplomat songs better than the Lox, but the Lox performed it so flawlessly and crystal clear, no background, no background vocals, just straight tracks and vocals, their own vocals. They sounded good. That was why they crushed them. Hove has that, but Ye has that. Now listen, but Ye has that same thing. Plus, he's not standing in one spot or walking just side to side. Like a lot of these people, we love the songs bigger than the performance. Jay-Z, we love the songs more than his performance. I'm being dead ass.
I've been to plenty. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I've been to more than a few Jay-Z concerts in my lifetime, and I would never say that he's an amazing performer, but
exactly.
I've always enjoyed.
I didn't say you're not a
show. Right. Here's the other thing. In a versus, you don't get all them stage lights and the fire, and you're not. Hold on. You're not standing on top of a globe. So I'm saying if it's just stripped down, right? Pause. If it's stripped down where you got 20 songs from Ye and you got 20 songs from Hove, and we don't have all these theatrics,
they'll crush them. Did you see?
You think he crushes them?
Did you see Ye? Did you see Ye at the BET Awards when he performed back in the day? The BET Hip Hop Awards when they was in the cipher. Did you see him?
Mm-hmm. I saw it.
But you saw his presence and how it's no theatrics. His presence. I'm telling you. You see him on Saturday Night Live rolling around on the ground. I'm gonna roll the clips. Did you see that? Hove don't have that.
Of course, I saw that.
Song on, and I'm telling you, Ye got any song that Ye play. That Hove play, Ye got a song for it. Hove don't got a song for every song that Ye got.
No, I don't know about that. Cause his B-sides are quite
now you
insane.
Sound like Memphis Bleak.
Huh?
Now you sound like Memphis Bleak. His B-sides, Hove. Yo, what you think Kanye's B-sides sound like?
I'm not saying. Listen, it'll be a battle, but I mean to think he's crushing him, he's destroying him. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
He'll perform some of his best songs, and Ye will be like, "Yo, I made the beat."
Yeah, for some of them, but Jay-Z has how many albums of work before he started working with Kanye? 5?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, bro.
4?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole career of Hove without Ye. And I'm just saying, like, let's not get disrespectful here. Let's not get disrespectful here, because I feel like that's where we're trending, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Disrespectful, but he still can't fuck with Ye.
We'll see. Me personally, I just want to see another Throne album. I want to hear another Throne album. That's what I want. I don't think we'll ever get it, but that's what I would like to hear.
Flashing lies, like, oh my goodness. We'll be stomping on Jay's head the whole night.
Anything volume 1, and I think it would also depend on, where the I mean, that's one of my favorite Jay-Z albums.
That's one of his albums.
As one of my personal favorites.
That's crazy.
Call me crazy. That's one of my personal favorites. That's one of my personal favorites. That joint with Too Short, Rap Game, Crack Game, Imaginary Players, Friend of Foe 98, Streets is Watching. Come on, man.
Yo.
Come on, man.
You're gonna basically, for most Ye albums, while he's still Kanye West, for most of the albums, you're just gonna like every song. You're gonna like every song on. You just gonna like every song.
No, listen, I am not discrediting him. All I'm saying that you got this narrative right now that he's washing Hove, and
Yeah,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But
and
this,
I'm a whole fan, but I'm like, I know he can't mess with Ye per song for song. He don't have those songs for Ye.
maybe we should see something like this. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The concerts. Now there's a third one this summer. Does Ye
Right.
come out? Does Ye come out at any of these shows?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
He's too unsafe. He might. I feel like
Well,
he's safe for Hov's image right now. And don't forget, he did talk about his kids, even if he wasn't the right
and his
mental state.
wife. And his
Yeah,
wife.
even though he might not have been in the best mental state, he did do that. So I don't know. That's kind of
Yeah.
hard, like from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. That is a fact. That is a fact. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So I know you got some up your sleeve, man.
No, I actually don't.
You don't.
I actually don't.
Oh, you sure? You
I'm
sure?
1000% positive.
Yo, I don't even know who I'm talking to right now. But and then literally before we end, but well, you know what? I do have something to I'm waiting. Like I'm
Bro,
not gonna end this. I'm not gonna end this.
I literally don't have anything. Yo, to be honest with you, it's been kind of a slow week.
Yeah. Not
Been
every
kind
week is gonna be, but this was decent though.
It was
It,
decent. It was
it was
decent. It was decent. It was
couple
decent.
weeks ago. Couple weeks ago, man, that shit was drier than the Sahara, you know what I mean? But
Man,
well,
yeah. I don't
well,
have any
since Royal doesn't have anything, which is a big shocker, I just want to say we appreciate you all for
Yep.
tuning in.
Yep.
Okay, just know that me and Royal got a lot of things brewing. Um, and stick with us. We are your platform. If
Absolutely.
you busy working all week, handling your responsibilities, you want to know about what's going on within this sneaker fashion music world, pull up on us. Sit down, listen, watch us, follow us,
Yep.
comment.
Yep. And please make sure you like, please make sure you comment, and please make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
And you know what I always say,
What do you say?
if you like something, you're dick riding. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't, you're hating. With that said, do you.
Do you, y'all. All right. And with that being said, I'm Gatsby.
Royal Rail.
And this has been another edition of State of the Week, brought to you by State Your Claim. Be safe, y'all. We're going to see you next week. And that's all I got.
Peace.
Peace.
Claim your